that's fine. All right, we're going to use this mic. If I had hands, I can actually do this. All right. I make use of my handicap hand for. All right. So anyway, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this series where we talk about influence, right? And I think it's been such a great series because I think influence is just it's such a great part of what we do each and every day, right? I mean, we're called to be an influence, right? And we hear this word a lot nowadays, right? We hear about influencers and YouTube stars, but you guys are on social media, you're on TikTok, you're in all these places, and man, there's so many people like actually there that they're basically all they do and everything they do is to try to influence the people that watch them, right? Because they want to get likes, they want to get clicks, they want to get subscriptions, they want to make money at the end, right? That's what being an influencer at the end is all about, right? I'm trying to offer something, or it could be a product or whatever it is, an idea or something, right? And influence. So influencing is a big thing. So today we're gonna talk a little more about what we're called to influence the world. So how do we do that? First of all, let's kind of go back a little bit on being an influencer, right? So I put up a chart of the top influencers of this year. All right? Worldwide. This is not just the US, this is worldwide. So we see a lot of names that you might recognize, right? This is a different social media. The total got cut off. I don't know why, but you see, Ronaldo, right? Who knows soccer players? Any soccer players? All right, so you know who Ronaldo is, obviously, right? Yeah, exactly. Like one of the tops, Messi's in there too. Well, we got Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, right? We got Justin Bieber, whatever, right? Dwayne Johnson, right? Taylor Swift. Well, she should be like a little bit lower, I think. No, anyway, I'm kidding. After the Super Bowl thing, no. All right, so anyway. And we see at the end, we see Mr. Beast, right? Who knows who Mr. Beast is? Come on, you YouTubers. All right? And, it's funny. I was reading about this guy a little bit because I'm like, okay, I can't talk about it if I don't know anything about him. So at least I went on Wikipedia and found out some stuff about Mr. Beast, right? Obviously, this guy surpassed, who the biggest YouTuber was. And over the years, he put in the work, right? He put in a lot of work to get where he's at. This kid actually went to a Christian school, believe it or not. So this was it even caught my idea even more because, okay, he came from a Christian background, I think from the Carolinas, Bible Belt, where like pretty much, as you know, most people in North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever, there's a lot of Christians there, right? It's called the Bible Belt for a reason. So a lot of people there. But he grew up, he put in the work, he put in a lot of work to create his YouTube channel. And at the end, he surpassed like so many people, right? He rose to fame, right? And once he rose to fame, he's making so much money that now at the end, he identifies as somebody that's agnostic. And that kind of caught my attention because we're like, okay, so we get to the point where because obviously I believe to be a YouTuber, you got to appease the world, right? So you kind of have to do things that the world's expecting you to do. Not necessarily what your beliefs might be, right? But you're actually have to do things and you have to be part, you have to belong to the world. And again, we spoke about this before. Belonging to the world is basically when we're part of the world where the devil does his work, right? And that's what the world is all about. All right? But anyway, so he rises to fame, and what happens? He rises to fame, and he basically forgets about God, right? All his journey, maybe he got there, maybe he had. Now he's got some foundations, he's got some things, so he does do a lot of positive things with his money also, right? But unfortunately, he forgot where he came from, right? He forgot about his creator. He forgot who got him the fame. I hope, sometimes you hope that things turn around because he has a huge platform. And imagine what we could do as Christians if we had a platform that big. you know. We do have, obviously, a huge platform, but can you imagine if somebody like that will be able to reach so many lives, so many people that are just looking for hope, right? So many people looking for a change in their life and something that's gonna make a difference. So anyway, now I'll talk about an influence. Now, before I talk about that, I want to talk about this, right? And the reason I want to talk about this because everybody asked me what happened, so might as well say something so it's not like weird. All right? Well, you know, I'm like, it's like the weird wavy hand, right? So anyway, many of you know I'm a mountain biking coach. I coach a team of mountain bikers. I got a couple here in the audience. Yeah, props to them. Yeah. All right. So I was on Tuesday, normal ride day. I had my ride, and after that I went riding. And simple as that, I was on the trails, and as I'm coming around, I see a guy coming. I lose my concentration, and I hit my handlebar against a tree with my hand on it, of course. So that's it. So I got a little fractured bone. I have to go see the orthopedic tomorrow. So so pray that I won't have this for too long. That'll be cool. All right, so that's that story. So let's keep on going. So anyway, so it's important for us, again, for us to be able to become influencers as Christians, right? Because we have an opportunity. So I kind of wanted to I wanted to educate you guys how to become influencers. How about that? Right? Yeah, I did some research. I looked some HR videos, you know, on some marketing videos, right? And this is how you become an influencer. Ready? Step 1, find your niche, all right? Now, does anybody know what a niche is? It's like you find something specific, all right? You find something that aligns with the things that you like. Again, my niche could be a mountain biker influence. I don't know. I probably never do that, but I could be, right? So something that aligns with your values, beliefs, and interest. All right, so that's find your niche. What are you passionate about, right? So that's what you look for, number 1. Then engage with your audience. All right, and it says respond to your followers' comments to make yourself seem more human. Now that was kind of weird, right? Because I mean, you would hope that if you're an influence, you sound a little bit human online, right? So yeah, apparently that's one of the steps that's important. Now, the next step is create a content strategy, all right? So I'm going to create a strategy where I'm going to figure out what content I'm going to create, what I'm going to post, and things like that. That's going to be interesting based on my passion, my beliefs, and my niche that I'm trying to get to, right? The other one is be consistent, all right? Be consistent, obviously, right? We want to do something good. We got to be consistent about it. We can't just do it 1 week and not post in 3 weeks. Definitely not going to become, a super YouTuber if I do that, right? That's not going to happen. I gotta be constantly posting things and really have almost like a roadmap of the things that I'm going to be posting and when I'm going to post it. It says choose your platform, okay? Again, we have different platforms, right? We have social media. We have, this is a platform here, right? Where we can influence others. Network with other influencers, all right? That's key, right? We need to be able to network with people with same interest in order to work together and become bigger influencers, right? You know, as you guys know, a lot of these YouTubers, sometimes they get lucky. They'll post a video, a famous guy would like it, and then they become famous, right? And hey, that's just the way it is. And the other one is be constantly learning. All right. Now, I'm looking at this from a marketing point of view, right? Okay, this is the instruction guide on how to be an influencer, right? But you know what? I see this is the instruction guide on for us to be an influencer as Christ followers, right? Like honestly, if we follow this, we can do a lot of good in this world, right? We can do a lot of good to the people around us. I think we could just be better overall in spreading who we are, right? And spreading who God is, right? And showing the world what He's all about, right? We can be influencers. But unfortunately, we fail to do the work, right? You know, we'll come here on a Thursday, we'll post something once in a while, but that's it, right? We don't do a lot of work when it comes to God, unfortunately, right? Not to the point that, I want to be famous and I'm going to do all this work, right? But we don't do enough to really be able to become influencers when it comes to our faith, right? So how does the world see us, right? Because unfortunately, with being a Christian, and this is biblical, right? It comes with some difficulties, right? And the world tends to see us not usually in the greatest way sometimes, right? Yeah, if we're helping people, maybe they'll appreciate it. And I think Christians do great things around the world. But, if we look at the world and we look at the things that we hear constantly, we hear that we're people that are judgmental, where we're not loving people, we're judging people, right? We're like, oh, you see what he did? You see what that guy did? I can't believe he did that, I'm telling you, I'm like, for us drivers out there, right? It's probably the worst thing you could do is have a Christian sticker in your car, because the world will judge you right away. It's like, he just cut me off and he's a Christian. How can you do that, right? But that literally happens all the time, right? Like, you'll be judged instantly if you tell the world that you're a Christian. Like, people are looking at you, right? We're hypocritical, right? All the time. We say one thing, we do something else, right? We say, oh man, we gotta watch what we say. But yet, there we are. We're saying the wrong things, right? We're judging people. We're talking about people. We're saying all kinds of things, right? My walk does not match my talk, right? We need to be able to show some humility, right? And I think humility goes a long way, because honestly, you can be the best versed Christian. You can know your Bible left and right? You can know every verse in the Bible, right? But if you're not humble about it, if you're not using it to love somebody, if you're not using it to do something good, man, it's not showing humility, right? And people will see that you're just somebody that's not caring about anybody else but yourself, right? So we have to be extremely careful. Humility goes a long way. Admit what your weaknesses are. Tell people about your weaknesses. Tell people about your struggles. Tell people that as a Christian, you know what? Those things happen. Like I go through stuff just like you. You know what I mean? And when we're able to open those things up, people see us in a different way. The other one is we stink at friendships, right? We rarely pursue real relationships. We have tons of friends outside of church, right? But can you really talk about your faith with those friends? Can you really go deep and tell them, you know what? This is my belief. I'm going through this. I'm struggling with this. I want to be better. I want to be a better Christian. I truly believe there's a God, a creator that created me. I'm so grateful for this, and I pray for you. And do we really do that? You know what I mean? Or we only do it with the people that we really, maybe on Thursdays, right? The people that we know are Christians, right? But we fail to represent who we really are to the world around us, right? Jesus pursued many friendships. He didn't care. He went out, he talked to the people that nobody wanted to talk to. He made friends with the people that people despised, right? He was the greatest example of what a friendship needs to be, right? No judgment. I'm here to love you. That's my job, that's my calling, right? I'm here to love you no matter what. No matter what you've done, no matter what you did in the past, no matter how foul your language is, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to point my finger, oh, you did that. No. You know what? Let's grow. And I'm going to say another one. Don't see your friends as projects, please. All right? Because sometimes we think we're so great that we see our friends or boyfriends or girlfriends, all right? We see them as projects, right? We're like, all right, I'm going to fix you up, man. I'm going to pull out my Bible and I'm going to swipe you with some verses so you can be a better person. You know what I mean? Please don't do that. It's not going to go very far. It doesn't go far in marriage. It doesn't go far in any relationship. And I'm going to tell you another one. Don't scare people. All right? That's my other advice. Sometimes we as Christians can be scary. All right? Because, people might see it that you have it together. They might see that you're working hard to be a great person. But if you just go up to somebody and start like talking Bible and start scaring with too much God, all right, they're probably going to run the other direction, all right? We love them first. We invite them to a relationship first. We become their friends, all right? True friendship. They will grow and they will get to know you by the way you are, not by all the Bible verses that you're talking about. And you let them know who God is because of the way God is acting in your life. Okay? So man, we need to be influencers so people can see the message of Jesus Christ through the way that we are. Okay? So how does the world see us, right? How do we see the world? Unfortunately, we see it like, I don't really want to get involved, right? I see, you see some people, you look at people, you judge some people, you're like, I don't really want to, I don't want any piece of that. Just keep me away, right? So it's very difficult again because we rather stay away than do the hard work that it takes to be able to be a good disciple of God. So how do we influence our world? Well, the Bible's very clear, and the Bible tells us one very important thing, and it's in Matthew 28, verses 19 to 20, and it says, therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all commands I have given you, and be sure of this, I am with you always, and even to the end of age. Now, I know many of you have heard this verse. It's a very common verse. It's called the Great Commission. This is the reason we're created, period. All right? Like this is if you forget everything else, this is the reason you were created. You were created to spread the word, right? Again, spread the word through love, spread the word, and I'll talk about some of those things. But the Bible doesn't say stay comfortable in your seat. It doesn't say wait for things to happen. Just like being an influencer, it takes work, right? It takes work. It's something you got to work. It's a job, right? It's a job where we have to constantly put work into it. And the more work we put into it, the more fruit we'll get out of it, right? The bigger our community, the bigger our influence will become. So we need to go. So let's talk about 3 ways in which we can influence, all right? The first one is influenced by your words. All right? In Ephesians 4:29, it says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. And I want you guys to really understand that, right? It's building others up. So meaning every word that comes out of our mouth should be to build somebody up, okay? Not to tear them down. That is part of what we need to do, that it may benefit those who listen. All right? So again, our job is to be humble, to put ourselves out there, right? Our job is to be able to always be looking and making sure, and you can ask that question to yourself and you can say, are my words that I'm saying building somebody up or am I tearing them down today? Is that what I'm doing with my words? What am I doing with whatever you think about saying? You know how they always say think before you say, right? Because sometimes we say and then we think about it, it's like, I probably shouldn't have said that, right? That's probably the wrong thing to say. But man, think about it. And before you say something, and before you say something to somebody or you do a comment or whatever, think of yourself. By saying this comment, am I building somebody up or am I tearing them down? Okay? If we're going to be influencers, we need to be known as people whose words reflect the hope and encouragement found in Christ. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, so encourage each other, build each other up. And I think I said that already. But anyway, I said it again. Okay, the next one is influenced by your actions. All right? When we claim that we're Christians, people are going to be watching, all right? You guys always heard the phrase, actions speak louder than words. It's true. People are going to look at you. People are going to say how you act. They're going to see how you behave. And I love this. Peter says, Peter puts it this way. And in 1 Peter 1, verses 13 to 16, I'm using the Message version because I really liked how this lays it out. And it says, so roll up your sleeves, get your head in the game, be totally ready to receive the gift that's coming when Jesus arrives. Don't lazily slip back into those old grooves of evil. Don't doing just what you feel like doing. You didn't know any better then, but you know better now. As obedient children, let yourself be pulled into a way of life shaped by God's life, a life energetic and blazing with holiness. God said, I am holy, you be holy. All right? So man, I love how the Message puts it here because it tells us I just think it's such a, it tells it like it is. Very easy to understand, right? But again, you knew what you were doing back then. We all know what we need to do. We all know what's right and what's wrong. I mean, that, at least most of us, right? But it's something that we know. And when we do something wrong, we know we're doing it wrong, right? So give up those ways, work hard, okay? I'm not saying temptation doesn't come because it comes all the time, but man, try to overcome those things. It's not our flaws that people are looking for, okay? It's our sincerity. And I love that too. Because man, when we're sincere and we're transparent about your mistakes and you demonstrate a genuine desire to be better, people will look at you differently, okay? Not the high and mighty Christian friend that I have. No, he's a normal person with normal issues, all right? Looking for hope, just like everybody is. Looking to be better each day, right? Making myself, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. That's my only goal. I don't do, New Year resolutions. I never do them. Why? Because my resolution always is, I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. Simple as that. Simple. If I could be a little bit better tomorrow, I'm making progress, okay? When we stumble, we acknowledge our mistakes and we recommit to faithfulness. And the last one, the most important one, all right, would be influence and love. All right? So I'm going to ask you, are you loving your friends? Are you loving the people around you? I had a great story from, I think it was like last week, and I don't remember. Which literally I go to the post office, right? And I'm at the post office. And I went to drop off Amazon return probably or whatever the heck it is, right? And I'm there, and as I'm driving out of the post office, I see a kid probably in his 20s, college-age kid. I see him working on his car. He's doing something. I drive away, right? I drive away. But as I'm moving, I kind of see him from the corner of my eye, and I drive away. I get to the end of the drive, I'm like, man, God, why do you do this to me? It's like right away I'm like, man, I got to go help this kid for some reason. God is telling me I got to go help this kid, right? And it's been a while that I get one of those like stories where you actually, because usually we ignore them, right? We just, no, I'm in a hurry, man. I can't do that right now. I can't stop and help that person, right? So I had no excuses. I'm at the end of the driveway. I had time. I had nowhere to really go besides home. And I'm like, okay, all right, God. I don't want to do this right now, but okay. So I go, I turn around, and I come back, do the whole run. And I come back, and I drive past him, and I go, do you need help? And he just starts talking to me, right? So I go, yeah, I did this, and I took out the battery, had the battery out or whatever, and I noticed that this came out or whatever. I'm like, all right, give me a second. Let me look at it. So I go and I look at it, and he has his whole battery out. One of his connections from the battery like broke off or whatever. Literally within 5 minutes, I had the kid on the road going home. He was extremely happy. All it took, literally, you know, God puts you in situations for you to help, and He gives you the ability, right? He gives you the ability. If He puts you in a situation like that, it's because He wants you to do something, right? He wants you not to ignore it, because we ignore enough of these things. If the Holy Spirit is pulling you back and telling you, you know what, you got to back up and you got to go help that person. Guess what? It's your calling. All right. Literally, you know, He said, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to fix it that way. I'm like, okay, that's definitely not going to work. So we figure out a way, and we got his car running. So he was extremely, extremely happy. He was going to call his dad at one point, but yeah, so God did His job, right? 1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 through 3, it says, love is the greatest. Now, before I read this, you guys, many of you, another part of this verse, and it comes before, it talks about what love is, right? And it talks about love being patient, love being kind. Typical wedding, right? At weddings, they always read this. This is one of those verses that they read at every wedding, right? Because it says, love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude, right? It's not demanding, it's not irritable, you know. It says a lot of things describing what love needs to be. But if we go that and we go earlier in chapter 13, okay, it says, if I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong, right? Everybody knows what a gong is, like the poosh, dong, whatever, right? Yeah, one of those things. Or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plan and possessed all knowledge, and if I had such faith that I could move a mountain but didn't love others, it would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. I could tell everybody, man, I'm awesome. This is what I did. But if I didn't love others, it would have gained nothing. So everything about love being patient, love being kind, if we're not living it, then it's just all talk, right? It's all talk, no action. We could talk about love all we want, right? But love is something that we need to live, and it's something that Jesus Himself was the greatest example of love. Again, loving everybody, right? Loving everybody, no matter where they come from, no matter what they look like, no matter if people hated them, no matter if they cheated, no matter if they did the wrong things, because He saw hope in everybody's life, right? And that's what we need to see. We all fall short of sin all the time. So my question to you is, how are you influencing others today? Do people see you as a Jesus influencer? You know, we see the enemy working extremely hard to isolate us constantly because he doesn't want us to work together. He doesn't want us to be able to use everything that, all the hope that He gives us, and be able to give that hope to others. He doesn't want us to do that. He wants to be able to isolate you so you feel troubled, so you feel like you don't have hope, so you feel like the world is not good for you, so you feel that your life is not good enough, so you feel that you're completely useless. That's his job. Our job is to do the complete opposite. Our job is to be able to use our influence that we come here every Thursday to learn about, right? Where we learn truth. We learn truth about how love can make such a difference. How friendships, the friends that we call friends at school, that sometimes we talk about them, that sometimes we curse them, that sometimes we treat them like they're not our friends. That is the people that we need to go after. We need to be different, guys. Because our Father has created a great mission for us, and our mission is not to stand still. Our mission is not to do anything. Our mission is to go, to work hard, to do something about it. You know, there's an old song way before you guys, probably like your parents' song from old times, right? But it was a great song, and it talks about a guy that's cursing God, a guy that's saying, you know, God, there's so many things going on in the world, God. There's so many things that happen each and every day. There's so much violence. There's people killing each other. There's wars. There's earthquakes. God, why don't you do something? And at the end of the song, after in the lyrics, the person is, you know, raising up their hand and getting mad at God. And he goes, I did do something. I created you. I created you because it's our job. It's our job. It's not our neighbor's job. It's our job. We should take responsibility for the lives around us. We should take responsibility to make an impact. We should take responsibility to change somebody's life. We should be the hope that they see because they see God through us. We should be the light in their darkness. So man, I'm going to challenge you guys tonight. And before that, I want to, we did have our verse of the week, and I think it just sums it up amazingly good. And this is 1 Timothy 4 verse 12, and it says, don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Okay? Don't ever think that because you're young, you don't have an impact. You guys have so much impact. You guys have so much impact in your school, right? At your age is when you can make the most impact, because that's when people's lives are going through all kinds of difficulties. That's when we see a lot of kids, you know, again, and we see a lot of kids here, right, that go through difficult times because they have broken families, because they don't have a dad, because maybe the mom is not around, because they've been, you know, just going through so many different things. They get picked on, they get bullied, there's so many things, right? And this is where we make that impact, right? And you guys are here to be able to make that impact. If you're going through stuff, that's okay. God is hope. God is the hope that we have, right? And if you trust in Him and you need His guidance, He will guide you, but you have to be open to it. Okay? There's nothing that our awesome God cannot do. So I want to actually do two things today. First of all, I want to be able to challenge you, right? Because I think we could talk all we want up here as leaders, but if we don't have a challenge, I think all this just becomes nothing. And my challenge to you is, you know, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to put in the work tonight? The little bit to make the people around you better. All right? And I'm going to challenge you, and again, because I think it's important. It's almost like we have to make a commitment. I think with everything that we do to get closer to God, we need to make commitments, right? So I'm going to tell you tonight, and I'm gonna put the pressure on you, right? But at the same time, I think it's something that we have to do. It's a decision we need to make from the heart, right? That we want to make a difference. We want to make an impact, right? And if that is you, I want you to stand. I want you to stand, because I think when we stand together, and you can stand right there in your seats, okay? But if that is you, if you want to make a difference to the people around you, where it'll be by prayer, by loving them, by being a person that's encouraging them, encouraging the people around you, I want you to stand, because I believe that power comes in groups. Power comes in numbers, right? The more people we have, that means you have more people praying over you, because that means that you know that your life means something tonight, right? And I know that your life will make an impact. And I don't want anybody ever, never, ever, ever believe that your life is not important. and that you were not created for a special reason. God has a plan for you. If you haven't seen it yet, you will see it. I'm on this stage because God had a plan for me, right? I still don't know what his plan is because God is taking me everywhere. But when you say yes, God will take you on an amazing journey. I can promise you, he's going to use you in every special way. Let's bow our heads and pray. Father, I want to, first of all, thank you for the opportunity, Father, to share your wisdom. Man, I want to lift up, first of all, every teenager in this room, Father. Some that might be going through difficult situations, Father. I just pray that you will surround them with people that love them, that the people that are in here and the other teens will be able to recognize, be able to surround them. Show them love, Father. Show them what your love is all about, Father. And that they know that they're loved, that they know that they're needed, that they know that they're part of your mission, Father. Because your mission tells us that we're here to go out and make disciples and bring people and show them the light. So I pray that you will surround them, God, no matter what difficulties, that they will find hope in you, Father. And I pray for them tonight. Also want to pray, Father, for our teens that stood up, Father, because that takes commitment. And I believe that as Christians, we need to make commitments. We need to make commitments every time, Father, that you put that pressure on us, Father, that every time that you put that little tug in our heart, Father, because we know we need to stand up. We know we need to do more, Father. And man, I just want to thank you for them. I want to pray for them, for their strength, God, that they will be able to do what they want to do, Father, that you will give them the strength to fight the enemy constantly, to fight their sin, Father, to be able to follow your guidance, Father, everything that they do. And we thank you again, Father, for all that you do. So I pray for every single one of my teens, my leaders, Father, everybody that's here, just working together as a team, Father, so we can be closer to you and be able to influence the world around us. We thank you, and we all pray this in your name. And everybody says, amen. All right, hands for you guys, man. That's awesome. Great job. You guys, you know, again, I'm so proud of you guys. And, you know, because it really, I truly believe when you say yes to God, God will not let you down, man. I've been through so many different things. God has done so much in my life. And I owe it all for just saying yes. Things that I never thought that I would do, God has put me in an amazing journey. So, man, I want the same for you guys. You know what I mean? Take it from the old guy, all right?